Welcome to Seeing Scarlet. It is Shelby here with Tyler, and today we have a fun one for you. Softball is back, Tyler. They got fall ball. They released their schedule on Sunday. They'll be there on Sunday. First scrimmage, inter squad, basically a top 25 matchup. Let's be real. A few notes on softball in a second. Stay tuned. You're gonna want to hear this. Also, soccer got another dub last night, 2-0. Actually, it just happened. We're recording it afterwards. But last night, for when you're watching this, 2-0 up at New Mexico State. Gonna get through that. They totally dominated the game. It just didn't look like it on the scoreboard until the end, but they got it done. Some historic paces happening there for a few players on that team. I'm just saying, we're getting some stuff there. And then we'll get into volleyball. Had a big win over Duke. Dropped one to Georgia. There was a rain delay. Odd things happening for the volleyball team. Bless them. But we'll talk about that. And then, of course, football. That Kent State preview we promised you is going to come up at the end. So everybody hold on to your butts for that. Won't even make you wait for this, but it sounds like Baron Morton may play on Saturday. That came out earlier tonight. Joey McGuire said that at his radio show. So we'll talk more about that once we get through recapping the other sports. And yeah, that's where we're at. Tyler, how's it going?
It's going. I was super excited to see that fall ball is back in Lubbock. Just gives me more
Yes.
more things to do. But yeah, super excited to see all the new transfers come in and just really see how much of an impact they're going to really leave. And then of course, everything with soccer, doing the damn thing tonight. Volleyball is like kind of finding a groove again, but there's also some things working on. And then obviously everyone's excited for football and the whiteout or the wear white game on Saturday, so
Yeah.
tomorrow. So
I'm a little mad at cotton right now myself. We were talking about that before. We're both struggling with allergies right now, and I'm blaming it on the cotton. But we will celebrate it because farmers are the backbone of everything in this country. So yay them. Thank you for that. But the cotton, we're not besties right now because I can barely breathe. So story for another day. Like, subscribe, follow, because softball. I'm gonna have more coming out on this over the next week or so, but they have some big, 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 big. How many more bigs can I fit in here? Recruits coming to town over the next couple of weeks. This weekend, I need you guys to be there on Sunday because that's the only one on this weekend, right? Sunday is their only fall
Mhm.
matchup that they're having. So I
Yeah.
assume that's when these recruits are going to be here. There's two of them that'll be here this weekend, and then another big one next week. I'm talking like 3 top 16 players in the country in the class of 2027 are going to be here. They're heavy hitters, some of the best players that softball has had in a while, is what I've been told in different ways. More info coming out on them, maybe a video, definitely articles. Once the visits are happening, you'll see that come out. But my plea to you is to be there on Sunday, one, to watch this year's team play. And it's a good team, if you've been paying attention. If you live under a rock, it's basically a top 25 matchup. You'll have Nija Kennedy versus Caitlin Terry, perhaps, two of the top pitchers in the country, and you have them on your own team. And now it's an inter squad. And then you have Sam Lincoln, who was just named by Softball America as a breakout player potential in the Big 12 as a lefty pitcher that'll be on one team. And then you have Chloe Riasetto, who was our number 2 last year, and will be there pitching as well. And then you have, Mally West is a freshman. That's a freshman pitcher that's coming in, supposed to be really good. And you get to see all these new additions, and Taylor Panel and Mia Williams and Des Spearman and all of the
That's
catchers,
Burns.
Burns, Loggy, all the people everywhere, all the players everywhere that you've been hearing about. And then your favorites are back. Obviously, you got Tony, you got Nija, of course, you got Allred, you got Maya Davis flying around in the outfield, Logan Hollerman, our torpedo of speed. The list goes on. They're all back. So get out there and watch them. That's a 1 p.m. game on Sunday. I think me and Tyler will both be there.
Yes.
And then there's a lot of them. Like, we're basically just playing ourselves in fall ball, which is fair. What better competition? It's basically like every other day. It feels like for the next couple of weeks, there's a scrimmage going on out at Rocky Johnson that you can go to. These are free, and they want fans to be there. Sometimes they're at 10 p.m., sometimes they're at 7 p.m. So just check the schedule. The team posted it. The first couple are Sunday at 1, and then I guess that would be Tuesday night at 7. If you can't make a 1 p.m. one, you want to catch one after work. Tuesday and Thursday both. They have them at 7 p.m. So there you go. And then just go check the schedule for more of them. So yeah, I'm excited, Tyler.
Yeah. Lots of exciting things coming for softball, as you said. All the big transfers that are going to be coming in. I mean, there's really no reason not to see them and just kind of see them mesh and grow throughout. I mean, I'm sure that that first inter squad scrimmage game compared to like that last one that's going to happen right in the middle of October, I'm sure we're going to just watch them grow and just be an even better team. And honestly, I do kind of like the idea of playing the inter squad scrimmages a little bit better because, as y'all know, most people that schedule fall ball, they like to choose opponents that are close in proximity. We don't really have Power Five opponents that are close in proximity, so I kind of like the likes of playing ourselves better than like some of these smaller colleges. Yeah, there's two. There's one away at West Texas A&M later in the year, and then or later in the next 2 months, I guess, and then
Hmm.
we're playing Odessa College at home. But again, I'd rather play ourselves than have to like stack all those little teams out because we're not like A&M, for example, that can play like UT, Baylor, and like all these
Texas
close schools.
State, and yeah.
Yes, all of them. So I think it's super exciting. I think we really get to see this number one transfer class in the country and get to see our returning players and then get to see these incoming freshmen that Coach Glasgow talks so highly about. So really
Yep.
excited.
For sure. And the roster is up to 26 players now. There's been probably a two or three more additions since maybe the last time we updated you on the roster. I think there's a couple more freshmen in the class and then some walk-on type players that pretty talented. One of them is a former track athlete at Houston. So
Insane.
that's interesting. Interested to learn more about her. And I made the incorrect assumption that she must be a pinch runner. No, apparently she can catch and she can do some other things. So she'll be kind of a really good athlete for the team, and then some others we'll get into more once we learn more about them. But currently up to 26. Maybe look for them to add at least one more player before the season gets here. And once all that's finalized, we'll put it out there for you. But that's your softball update. Again, you're going to have more content coming soon on the recruiting side and just updates throughout the fall. We'll put out stuff. But fall ball's here, so go catch them. If you can only catch one, we've talked about it before, but they are going to have a game on the Sunday of homecoming weekend for football, and it's the big alumni game. They're actually playing someone else in that one. They're playing Odessa College. I think it's 1 p.m. on the Sunday after whatever that is. October. What is that date?
October 13th, I believe.
Oh, okay. There you
Yes.
go. 12th. October 12th at 1 p.m.
Oh, okay.
They're playing Odessa for alumni weekend and homecoming. So you can get it all together if you're here for that. Go softball. All right.
The
Well, more
softball.
info coming on them. That's the reason you should subscribe. We'll post it. Big names headed to Lubbock. Hopefully they sign on the dotted line and stay in Lubbock because the future is bright. All right. Soccer got it done tonight. Thursday night game over in Las Cruces against New Mexico State. If you heard our preview on Monday about them, it was a team you don't need to sleep on. Their record's a little bit misleading. I feel kind of bad for them, to be honest. Now they're like 1-5 on the year or something, and they've now played 5 power conference teams in a row, including this one with us. They have some solid players, but we did what we should do against them. But I'm going to be honest. I, I feel like I haven't seen us dominate a game in that way without scoring in a while. It was a bit
Yep.
wild. Like we had 11 shots at the end of the first half. They had 0. By the end of the game, we had 22 shots, and they had 1. They had 1 total shot, not on goal. Like our defense was doing things out there, but we mostly just had the ball the whole time. And we're getting really good looks the whole game, especially early. We had 1 goal called back on an offsides. I know Tyler loves that. Um, Taylor Shadreski had a goal early. Maybe got a little lax, and maybe it was a little offsides. It's hard to tell from the angle, but it was very close. I guess given our track record, I'll lean to say the ref was maybe right on that, but I don't know. It was close, but that came off the board, and we just couldn't get a goal. And it's like, oh, you can let that frustrate you. That's kind of what San Francisco did. We talked about that in that game. Their plan was to frustrate us. You even hear the broadcasters in this game say, "Hey, maybe that was New Mexico State's plan too, was to frustrate Texas Tech, and it's working because it's 0-0 deep into the second half." And we didn't get frustrated though, Tyler, because we kept knocking, and then the door finally fell over on a Macy Blackburn corner over to Taylor Shadreski. That duo I mean, they're so good,
Killing
and
it.
it's been a little quiet for a couple games, but they're back, and they combined on 2 goals tonight. So Taylor had two, she had a brace as they call it in soccer, 2 goals, and Macy had 2 assists. Raleigh Greason also had a assist that's pretty snazzy on the second goal that you'll see in the highlights. But yeah, overall, I just appreciated that they didn't get frustrated. They really did dominate that game, and it could have been annoying. I mean, as a fan, it was between the broadcast mispronouncing everybody's names. They were very far from the stadium, I learned, so they had a reason to, but it was hard to watch from that standpoint and the frustration of the game as well. But we didn't stop creating chances. We were vastly the better team, and it showed. We just the final third was a little iffy for parts of the game. And credit New Mexico State, they made some ridiculous saves, the keeper, and they had one the back line defender. Like I think the center back was like on the line, and she saved one out of goal. Like we beat the keeper, and then she kicked it out, and I was like, okay, what? Like I gave up. So it was just that kind of night, but we kept knocking and got them in. So 2-0 wins, back to back shutouts. Didn't let them score. Didn't quite get Tyler's four goals, but a win is a win, Tyler.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna take it honestly, just after watching how we played. I mean, I was just glad that we were able to get, I mean, 2 goals. That's great. I was just hoping that we would get
Just get
1 goal
one.
in because
Yeah.
it would really just be like, I mean, if we wouldn't have gotten a goal and it would have ended in a draw, I just felt like it would have just been a lot of hard work just gone almost to waste because it was like we were playing so dominant and good. I mean, we only allowed them one shot the entire night. I mean, that's just
Stupid.
insane. And then we just had so many opportunities. I know that was something we talked about in the beginning of the season is like once we get to conference play, you cannot give up like that many
Yeah,
opportunities. I think we could have been up 3-0 in the first half very easily
for sure.
if we could have been able to finish off better. But this team showed that, I mean, you were talking about it like earlier over text, like, this team has had their moment to show. Can they close out games in the final minutes when it matters most? And sure enough, they did. And Z and Macy, our veterans, decided to come up very, very clutch, and that duo came back, and they were able to get those 2 goals at the end of the game within like 10 minutes of each other, and just sealed the deal. So I mean, now we're not. I mean, it's not stressful. I mean, it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
we won 2-0,
I want to
but
get
nobody
yeah.
knew. Like if they don't look at the actual timestamp, that it took a while, but we got it done. So
Soccer.
that's all that matters. Win is a win.
Soccer
Soccer.
is that sport that you'll just be like, just kills you, and then all of a sudden, oh, 2-0 win. All right, nothing. Like
We
I
did
guess
it.
like the
Yeah.
box score after the game, I would have been like, oh, good job. Dominated. You would have been like 22-1. Wow, which is all true. It's just like the first 70 minutes. We couldn't get a goal through. So it was like the highs and lows of the sport of soccer. Can imagine how they feel. But they got it done. You could even see on the goal they finally scored. Macy is after the corner, is just in the corner, just like like hands up, like thank God. It went in because they had some really good. Like there were times where we made a mistake on the final third, and we made like a mishit, or we had a pass that we could have made, or whatever. Certainly some of that, but there was also
For
times
sure.
where they just barely missed goal, or they made a crazy save. So it was like, come on, and we didn't let it frustrate us. And like you said, yeah, it was their first chance to show that they could win a game where they don't score in the first 12 minutes. I think they had scored in the first 12 minutes of every game they've won this year, before this one. And the other game they didn't do that, they lost. And so this one, hey, we can score in the second half and win a game. Check it off the list. All these things they're trying to do to get ready for a really tough Big 12 play. So let's show the highlights.
In the first couple games, it started to get some more minutes.
I'm just gonna turn those off and save y'all the trouble. Yeah, early chance here. This is the offsides call. Y'all be the judge. Y'all can rewind and watch it. It's close. She kind of just got caught. That girl kind of took a step forward, and Z didn't. And I don't know. I'd love to see a straight across the line look at that. I'm not gonna lie, but it was a good finish by Z. That was not an easy
It
finish to
was.
go backside with the keeper right there, and she finished it. Unfortunately, it doesn't count. Could have been a hat trick. So it looks like we're gonna jump all the way ahead. We had a lot of chances. I guess these are gonna be short highlights, but that's fine. There was a lot of chances where we almost got goals, but we're jumping ahead to 20 minutes left in the game. 21 minutes basically left in the game when we get it our 10th quarter of the game, Tyler. Our 10th quarter of the game, and Macy sends it to. I mean, it's unfair, really. Look at the girl that's trying to mark Z. She's like a foot shorter than Z, and that's just not gonna work. And Z says it's over. Perfect pass for Macy on this, as always. And Z just puts it in. Like, there's 3 people around her,
Wow.
but, like, just not gonna happen. They might show a
Easy.
replay if you're lucky, but yeah, that was Macy's 6th assist on the season. Trying to break a record there for most in a season. We'll talk about that maybe in a couple of weeks if she's getting closer, but she's eking up there, and she has another one coming in this game to get up to 7. And here it is right here. Look at this ball from Millie Elwood. We'll talk about her more in a minute, stepping in for a player that's out injured. I mean, just a perfect on-target ball to Raleigh Greason, who says, toe poke, over to Macy Blackburn.
Right.
When you give her that much room, perfection to Z, hiding on the backside.
Art. This is
Dives
art.
for it, puts it in the back. Like, that was, that
Wow.
might be the prettiest goal. That one from Macy to Z to Bug at the first game of the first goal of the year. That was nice too, but this one was really nice. You love to see that.
Very
That's
nice.
all we got. I don't blame whoever made the highlights. It was a frustrating game, so they're probably like, I'm not putting these in here. These almost goals. I don't want to go through this again. So yeah, they did some good stuff. That one goal was really fun. Again, I think it might have been my favorite goal of the year just because there's so many different people involved, and defense was great. Millie Elwood was someone that stepped in for, we mentioned Chloe Opich being out. She kind of confirmed that on her social media, so it does appear like she's out for the season. So prayers up to her. I hate that for her as a senior. It's tough, but that's the sport. So the team moves forward. Tom said on Tuesday that he felt good about their depth there. He felt they don't feel great about losing Chloe, is what he said, because he feels like she's a great leader and will continue to do that from the sidelines. But he feels good about the depth that they have there. And he mentioned Millie Elwood. He mentioned the freshman Gianna, who I don't think played in this game. And then he also said, hey, we also have Molly Skrasinski, which is a question that I was wondering if we would do. And it does appear that was the initial move, was to move Molly Skrasinski up from center back to the holding mid spot, which she has played the past 3 years for us and is really good there. And then they brought in Eleanor Hayes, who paired with Emily McCartney at center back, and they both played full 90s there and were a part of a shutout. So that's good to see, because if you can get away with Molly not needing to be a center back, even though I know she loves to play there, but if you can get away with her not needing to be there, she is one of the best holding mids in the country, as Thomas said. And you saw, I think there's a reason our attack was so good and constantly on that side of the field. That was probably the best our midfield has looked this year as far as like possession. I don't know what the chart says.
Right.
I haven't seen it, but and that could very well be because Molly was back in the midfield, because she's been a big part of that for past years, and she's been back playing center back. So to have her there definitely helped offensively, and it didn't hurt us defensively. So that's a good sign. We'll see if that continues in to better attacking teams as we get into them. But that was good. And then my only other takeaway was Kylie Barr was just making people look silly again. Like, I will punch somebody if she is not given all Big 12. I know she has one assist to her name, and those awards are stat awards, and that's why I'm always fighting for assists for people when I see them not given out, like Raleigh Greason tonight, which they got it fixed, because that's what people vote on when they get to that time of year. But she's a defender, and she is wreaking havoc. Like, she's earning corners. She's making people look silly. She set up a lot of probably should have been goals for us tonight. Big opportunities in front of goal. Like, they couldn't really handle her. And then when you have Macy Blackburn on the other side, it just changes things. So it's pretty crazy that maybe our best 2 players on the team are both outside backs. I mean, you have some really other good players on the team as well. Don't get me wrong, but Kylie was really good in this game. I just thought she was making people look silly. So yeah, that's my kind of other takeaways. What do you got?
Yeah, going back to what you were talking about with how possession looked tonight, I have the stat pulled up here. Looks like we had 61% possession, and then New Mexico State had 39%. I think that is one of the higher ones that we've had. We've had 170-30 before, but 61-39, I mean, that's really good, especially
Honestly,
considering with the
that it would've
injuries and
been higher,
adjusting.
but
Yeah.
that's still over 50%. We'll take it.
Yes, we'll for sure take that. So that definitely, I think our midfield did look a lot better and a lot more organized tonight, just with the lineups we made. And then, yeah, as you said, Kylie doing Kylie things. I'm also going to be there fighting for you for her to win a Big
Yeah,
12
we'll drive to
award at the
Indianapolis
end of the
if
year.
we have to.
We missed, yes, we'll do it. We'll
I don't
deal
know
with
if
it.
they're in charge of that. I think coaches maybe vote on it, so maybe we need to drive to each coach individually. But I would do it. I would be so mad if this girl doesn't finally get all Big 12. Like, it would be just absurd. Like, I don't know how
It would,
coaches could.
for
I'm pretty
sure.
sure coaches voted on it. and how they can watch the film and be like, oh yeah, she's one of the best players in the conference. Like, how can they not do that? Like, they have
We
to.
have to do it.
I'm gonna beat someone up. But we got months before that needs to be done. So hopefully, no punches need to be thrown.
For sure.
For sure. Stat leaders in this: Macy Blackburn had 2 assists that extends her Big 12 lead to 7 on the season. Tyler, that is also now up to 2nd in the nation. Depending on how other people around her did tonight. Obviously, I don't know that, but she was already like 6th in the nation. She got 2 more, so she's up to 2nd in the nation. Taylor Shadreski had 2 goals. That moves her up to 3rd in the Big 12 in both points and goals. She has 6 goals now and 14 total points. For the people wondering what that means, in soccer you get 2 points for a goal and 1 point for assist. So she has 6 goals and 2 assists on the year. So she's 3rd in that. And she's played less games than these other people, because if you notice, our schedule is kind of like to a slow here, while other people are still playing 2 games a week. So some of the people, one of the persons ahead of her has played like 3 more games than we have, and the other one's played 1 or 2 more than us. So, and she's up there anyway. So those 2, and then she's probably top 10, tied for a bunch of people at 6 goals in the country as well. So big stuff from those 2. We talked about them in the preseason preview, that they're a dangerous duo, and they've shown that. I mean, teams have been trying to quiet Z down over the last couple of games, and that's allowed other people maybe to shine, but they couldn't in this one. So big stuff there. Any other thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm so glad to see Macy and Z, as I talked about, that duo to be back. I mean, I think Texas Tech fans, I mean, you have to remember that these really are like 2 of some of the best soccer players in the entire country. Macy Blackburn came in at number 3 in the nation. I mean,
Make it remember
yeah,
what.
if that doesn't give you a reason to watch them, then I don't know what will, because this is some good soccer that we have right here at Texas Tech in Lubbock, Texas, and you will have a lot of opportunities to come see them. So please watch them, because they're doing the thing, and now they're on this track. They said they're not going to let what happened at San Francisco ever happen again. We've moved on from that, and we're getting inching closer and closer and closer to more tougher opponents, Big 12 play. So just some exciting things, and to have them have that chemistry and get back into the groove of things is very exciting stuff.
Yeah, to follow that up with the New Mexico State broadcaster at one point in the second half said, "What a treat it is to watch number 23 Macy Blackburn go to work." I was like, "You're not wrong, buddy. We get to do that every game." And
The one
Texas
thing he
Tech
was
fans
right
know
about.
this. Listen, the place that they had those poor broadcasters set up at that field, do better, New Mexico State. We got them at the softball field behind apparently the stadium. Like, I understand why he was getting all their names wrong. So if you're watching it and like, what is this guy talking about? I found out afterwards the guy's literally like 100 yards from the field. Like, there's no way he can see unless he's watching the broadcast view, and then he can't really do his job. So now, why is mispronouncing him? That's a whole other thing, but it happens. But he got Macy Blackburn's right, because how could you not? So
Right.
he knew who Macy Blackburn was, and he was talking about how nice it was to watch her play soccer, and y'all, the home games are dwindling. Really, we're halfway through the season, or a third of the way through the season. Hopefully they'll have some postseason games as well when we get there. But Big 12 plays right around the corner. They have one more non-conference tune-up, but it's not for 10 days, Tyler. So I said they're in like a little bit of a lull of their season where they're going to really get to test their experience, I think, because it's great for rest. I'm sure they get more practice time in, and they get to work on small things, and I'm sure it's all good. And it should be a good thing for a team with veterans. But there is the factor of rust that comes into play as well. So, but you hope that with veterans, they can not let that be a factor. But they play Utah State in 10 days or 9 days, whatever it is now, September 14th, Sunday. I don't even know what time that is. This is probably an afternoon
1
game.
p.m.
1 p.m. Utah State beat us last year 2-0 at Utah State. They're a good soccer program. Anybody from Utah is good at soccer. I don't know what's in the air there, but the players that come from there are good. The teams are all good. Utah Valley's just beating up on everybody this year. They just beat LSU like 3 or 4-1 tonight. BYU's obviously good, and Utah State plays BYU on Saturday. So if you love soccer, that's going to be a fun game. It's at BYU at night game in front of their crowd. BYU's been pretty good this year. They just lost a a thriller late to number 13 Arkansas the other night, but they beat number 4 UCLA the week before. So, yeah, if Utah State can beat BYU, we'll see. Just looking at them, we'll talk about them more next week, but they're an interesting team. They seem like their defense is really stout. Again, I think they've only allowed 1 goal all year, but they've only scored 2 goals all year. So they have a win, they have a loss, and 2 ties. And the 2 ties, I believe, are for Big 12 teams. Kansas and somebody else, both solid Big 12 teams, especially Kansas. They held them scoreless, but they didn't score. So it goes both ways. So interesting there. I don't know what's going on there, but their defense was stout last year as well. Just maybe offensively, they haven't quite gotten on that level, but we'll see if they figure that out before they get to us.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to look at that BYU game and kind of see, how they're trying to tackle them or break them apart.
Test, yeah.
It will be for sure.
If they can hold BYU scoreless, that would be very impressive because Arkansas did that the other day, but it took like the goaltender was like standing on her head. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I think she was standing on her head for one of the blocks. It was insanity what she was doing out there. So they're gonna have to do that because they're a really high flying offensive team. So we'll see how that goes, and then we'll talk about it next week to you guys more. All right, and so we're obviously inserting this in the middle. Maybe not obviously. We'll see how smart some of you are. But this was re-edited into it because after we finished the show, Texas Tech Soccer posted the post game with Tom, and we wanted to include that in the soccer part of the recap. So magic, it's in here now within what we just talked about. And these are a couple of clips from them after the game. Kind of talking about what we kind of just did, but you get to hear it from Tom Stone directly talking about how his team responded to the adversity and trying not to get frustrated when they could have gotten frustrated. So that's the first one.
And then we started to get away from the game plan and our style in general and started to kind of rush our decisions, playing behind. And their goalkeeper plays really high. She's very good, by the way. And we kind of fed into them wanting to kick it back over our heads. So we thought the last 10 minutes we didn't act like ourselves. We were rushing it. Just frustration was dictating that we had kind of lost the plot a little bit. And that's what halftime was for. Calm everyone down. Tell them, look, if we create that exact same number of chances in the second half, there's no way one doesn't go in. It's got to go in because we were on the doorstep the whole first half. And playing, and granted they gave us time to play, but playing some of the best passing soccer we've played all year. Again, they gave us time to do that, so that helped. But we were great on the ball and just couldn't score in the first half, and it just took, a great effort from Macy with a beautiful serve on the corner, and Z goes up and smashes it in. So once we got that goal, we kind of knew we were going to win. But I was happy that we went for the second one, and that was one of the highlight goals of the year. Diving header from Z, it was magic.
It was magic. Y'all heard us talk about that earlier, saying that we thought it was one of the goals of the year. Well, retweet. The coach thinks it's the same. So yeah, of course, he's nailed it. As he always does. That's kind of what went down. Always interesting to hear from them. You can watch his full thoughts. There's a few other thoughts we have that are really good. I think right now it's just posted on Texas Tech TV, so you can find that, or Texas Tech Plus, or whatever it's called. Maybe it'll be on YouTube by the time you're seeing this. But that was them. And then we also heard from the goal duo, dangerous duo that they are, Macy Blackburn and Taylor Shudesky, after the game as well. And this was a snippet from theirs. And Z makes a little joke about her offsides goal. So we love that from Z. That's why we included this part of it.
Playing really well in the first half. We had a lot of opportunities, and unfortunately none of those were able to hit the back of the net. At least not ones that were on sides, at least. So coming after halftime, we definitely knew that, anyway, we got to get a goal. It's anyway we got to do. It doesn't have to be the prettiest, but Macy did serve me up a pretty beautiful ball. And that's just what we do. It's we practice it all the time. So
it's just what we do. It is just what they do, Tyler. They just do that. I don't know. They make it look pretty simple. So yeah, good summary from them again. You can go watch it, the full thing with both of them. They both kind of talked about overcoming the frustration and kind of knowing that they were playing well and doing well in this game. But that doesn't matter in soccer if you don't score. So right. Another interesting part of that I thought was good that we don't have the clip of, but Tom said also, we had to win. We didn't come here to get a draw. We couldn't lose. It was a game that we knew we had to win. He didn't say because we've already lost the one to San Francisco, but we've talked about that. You kind of already got that game out of the way. You couldn't afford another one going into Big 12 play. So they knew they had to win, and they also knew, if we get 11 shots on well, not on goal, but 11 shots in the second half, just like we did the first half, we'll probably score. And they literally had exactly 11 shots in the first half and in the second half. They were as dominant throughout the game as far as possession felt. He also says in there kind of what we talked about, I think. Pretty sure we said in this episode that we felt like the midfield looked the best it had. Maybe that was partly because Molly moved into it. Who knows? But everybody, the passing was really good. He said it was probably the best they've looked passing. Tom Stone said in his press conference. Yeah, I don't know. Did I miss any highlights that we didn't clip, Tyler?
Yeah, I think another thing that what the players were talking about was Macy was like, I mean, in the first half, for example, they had 8 corners and
Yes.
like they just weren't capitalizing on it. And she said she needed to get it in the right spot. And I mean, what the first goal was off of a Macy Blackburn corner kick, and then Z was able to get it in there. And I think that's important because I feel like that scoring off of opportunities off of corner kicks or even free kicks has been a Texas Tech staple, and I feel like that's kind of been lacking in the past couple of games. So just being able to see that come back, I think, was important, and they recognized that in the post-game interview as well.
Yeah, and then a fun note that Andrew Stern, their SID, who's doing the post game, mentioned to them is Macy Blackburn got her 40th career assist in this game, and Taylor Shchesky got her 40th career point in this game. And
how cool,
40. Yeah,
40.
it's cool for the dynamic duo that they are. They both hit 40 in different ways in the same game, and for them, it's very different journeys, but similar in the same way. They've both gone through injuries, and they talk about that in the post game too. But if you don't know Taylor's story, that should be an episode all on its own someday. But just she had a really bad injury when she first got to campus, and it basically took her 2 years to overcome it. And now is she up to like 15 or 16 goals in the last year and 5 games or 6 games that she's played? She didn't have a career goal until last year as a redshirt sophomore. Now she's a redshirt junior. So a lot of fun things happening. Teams are going to still keep game planning for that, but it's hard to stop when Macy sets it up that beautifully, especially hard to stop when Z is willing to dive and head it in like she did, like put her body on the line there at the end. So that's all I got. Now we're going to wrap up Soccer for Real. We're back. We're going to disappear, and we're going to go into talking about volleyball, right? So, yeah. Into the next volleyball. What were your takeaways from volleyball? They got a big win, or a win over Duke. Power conference win. Duke's not a powerhouse by any means in volleyball, but neither have we been. And so when you have a chance to go against a power conference team, especially as a young one, to get a 3-1 win, to drop the first set, I believe, and then storm back, not too shabby, right? Progress?
Yeah, progress.
Can we be happy
I mean,
about it?
I think we can be happy about it. I mean, I think these are definitely games that I was like, all right, you have to for sure win at least one of Duke and Georgia, preferably both. Obviously, we didn't beat Georgia today, but I would think for sure Duke was a must win. And I think it really just showed, yeah, even though we were down, we dropped the first set because why do we always drop the first set? I'm not sure, but it's like a real thing. So, like, if you don't think it's like a Texas Tech thing, yes. And we need to study it for sure here at Texas Tech because for some reason we always lose the first set. But it's even a thing in like I remember watching the Olympics when the U.S. team would play, and they're like the first set, like you can never take that into account because it's some weird science. Like there's actual science behind it. So just take my word for it. Don't get stressed until the second set because if we start losing the second set, then it's like, oh crap. But there's something in the Olympics where like if you lose the first set, it doesn't really count. I don't know what it is, but either way, we overcame that. And it was really just a tale of 2 sets.
That, but maybe that doesn't matter for Olympic level teams. But if we would win the first set, then we would.
We could have been done earlier. That is
second,
true.
Third, and fourth.
That is true.
Sorry, continue.
No, but yeah, but like it makes no sense though because it's like we lost the first set 25-14, and then we win the second set 25-10. Then we dominate the third set, and then in set 4 we go to a 28-26 third. I'm reading they didn't have it on TV, which here's our first season rant about how do we have 2 Power 4 conference teams at an SEC school. Yeah, you need to go. Yeah, go ahead and give your rant. Go on your rant because
guys, my softball rant every year. I do this every year in the non-conference softball. So here's my one time I'll do it with volleyball. It's not a money thing. It's not a personnel thing. They'll tell you it's a staffing thing. Maybe the only excuse they have is if ESPN Plus is holding them down to say, hey, you can't stream more than 1 game a day. I don't know why they'd be doing that, but maybe they are. That'd be the only legitimate excuse, but I don't think that's happening. What it is like lack of give a damn. That's all it is, Tyler. It's a lack of give a damn. I worked in baseball. I worked at content development. I was in charge of 15 different baseball teams streaming. They didn't have big budgets at this league. We were streaming off of cell phones in some of these, and they were great broadcasts. I'm telling you, it's possible. Where there's a will, there's a way, and they just don't give a shit. And Texas Tech has been in the same category where sometimes we don't stream games for opposing when you're hosting a tournament. They don't stream games for the visitors either for certain sports. And that it makes me mad too for those teams. That's what this is. It's a hosted tournament by Georgia. Georgia's games have been streamed. Anybody else playing, they're not streamed. That's what's happening. At least put a camera up. I think that's what Texas Tech does for volleyball. They turn on a camera and there's no one broadcasting it. That's a step in the right direction. But you can't tell me you can't find students that wouldn't be jumping at the chance to broadcast a game. I know you got to pick wisely, but come on. It's a lack of give a damn, and it's a problem, and it's been a problem in softball, and it's getting better because people are finally speaking up about it, not just me, and people that actually matter are speaking up about it, and they're making change. We need to do the same thing in volleyball because it's very hard to cover. We can't show highlights. It's no other people don't talk about it because it's so damn hard to cover these teams because the content's not there to do it, right? And so, like, people on the ground floor have to put the content out for people that even want to cover them, and it annoys me. So, rant over. I won't do it again, maybe, until softball. But anyway, continue, Tyler. So I can just
preach. We have to get that out of the way, the first one, because I mean that's step 4. I mean, I'm telling you, like I was hitting the refresh, and we were going back and forth. And I really just want to shout out first. Reagan Engler got the last kill to give us that point to end up winning it. But shout out to sophomore Addie Knuff. She had like the 3 to 4 points before that. I mean, I was just looking. I was like, all right, Addie, like pop off. Both of them had 14 kills total. Sierra Grizzle, who won Defensive Volleyball Big 12 Player of the Week. Like, that's a huge thing. There's only one. One that gets chosen.
I'll give Tyler credit. After we finished recording last week, I was like, oh, I need to put people on the thumbnail. He's like, put Grizzle on there for volleyball. She was great. I was like, all right, Tyler. And then sure enough, she goes and wins Big 12 Player.
She wins the award, which is huge because the Big 12 is over here doing some crazy stuff right now to some of the top volleyball teams in the country. And our very own Sierra Grizzle is over there doing the damn thing. So very impressive with her. Peyton Dunn, 29 assists. And then Aaliyah McDonald had 3.5 blocks. Shout out to Peyton Dunn. I think she had 2,000. She hit her 2,000 career assists after today against Georgia. So shout out to her. But yeah, really happy that this team got that 4-set win over Duke. It was very much needed, and at least they can hopefully guarantee themselves a 2-1 finish this weekend.
For sure. And the other one that broke out was a freshman, Callie. I'm gonna try Callie Gioshivila Ravu. That wasn't terrible. Rava, probably Rava.
You got it.
Rava.
You got it.
She's a freshman from Italy. Her mom is like one of the best volleyball players in Italy's history or something like that. I remember when we signed her, it being a big deal. She's from like, I'm not even joke. I think she maybe has played on the youth like national teams for Italy and stuff. So she's like a pretty big prospect, it seems like. And Greystone mentioned her in the preseason press conference as a name to like watch, that she would ease her way in. And she had 11 kills against Duke. And I saw her in I got to watch some of the Georgia match before the rain delays. We'll just shift into that. And you can definitely see her talent. She makes some mistakes here or there, like everybody on the team does, really. But you can see, like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see why she gets those swings. Like, she looks like, oh, like when she gets a hold of one, it's like you can't stop it. You know, she doesn't need to like find a spot. Like the spot just opens for her when she hits it. You know, so yeah, she'll be a fun one to watch. A lot of young players getting time on this, but went into the Georgia game. It was on SEC Network, so we could watch it. I got to watch the first set for the most part. They were down early in the first set, maybe like 7-3, and I was like, oh no, here we go again, first set. And then we went on a run, and we were up like 19-14 at one point in the first set. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna win a first set, Tyler, and then we're gonna smooth sailing from here. Then they let Georgia come on a little run, back and forth battle, both teams going at it, fair enough. And then it got to like 21-21 or 22-22, and it started raining inside of the building.
I don't know.
I just can't make this shit up anymore. Like, I'm like, this can't be real. This cannot be real life. Apparently, Georgia's been having roof issues. They play at their basketball stadium, I believe. So it's like a major facility there. It's not like it's some random whatever. Like, it's facility there, and they put the volleyball court in there for game days. Apparently, they've been having roof issues. They thought they had them fixed. A really big storm was happening outside. Did not have them fixed. It was raining on like one spot on the floor. I think there was like a 10 or 15-minute delay until the storm passed, and they got it cleaned up. So my heart actually goes out to the facility people. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of them because it's not their fault that the roof is broken. They were doing the best they could with the situation.
sure.
But LOL, Tyler. LOL. Only could happen to us.
Never heard that before.
Never, literally never. No, not in an indoor volleyball game. That was a new one. So rain delay, a 15-minute rain delay. Georgia comes back and they take the momentum to end that. I think it was kind of like a back and forth one. I think it ended like 28-26, so meaning it went above the 25 mark because you have to win by 2 points. So it was a well fought first set, and maybe that was kind of the match. It was like whoever won that was gonna, even though it doesn't matter by science. No, I get what you're saying. I think what that means more is like it doesn't really show you who the best team is. If you lose the first set, you can absolutely still win because that just happens. But like when you're in our shoes, we're just trying to, I think it would be lovely if we could win a first set.
For sure.
So yeah, dropped that one. And then lost the first set pretty handily, 25-17. Came back though. We loved the bounce back, won 25-22 in the third set. From what I could see I was watching soccer and volleyball at the same time. I know you were too. What I could tell, we controlled that set from start to finish. I think we were leading the whole way, so that was good. And then we lost the fourth set. Is that a correct number? That has a typo.
Yeah, no, because I think the team tried to. Let me see real quick.
We lost 25-10. I don't remember it being that drastic. That might be a typo on my behalf. So anyway, but we lost the fourth set, and that was the match, 3-1. Engler again.
25-19.
There we go. I was like, that's
set.
not right. That was definitely 9-0 next to each other on keyboard. That makes sense. Definitely my mistake. I was like, hey, we were like in that at some point. So I know that we started off well in that set and then just kind of fell off towards the end. But yeah, Reagan Engler again led us with kills, 19. Sierra Grizzle again, 16 digs. And you mentioned Dunn past 2,000 career assists. She had 46 assists in this particular match, which is a lot. I don't know how that happened, but she played more or something. But yeah, so I do appreciate that things do look like more, I don't know what the word is. They talked about playing faster, like maybe in system might be the word I'm looking for. They talk about a lot in volleyball, like things like when it's working, you can see like what they're trying to do a little bit more than maybe I saw last year. This is the first match I've gotten to see, so it's like trying to have takeaways. I'm like, oh, okay, they are playing a little faster. Like you can see some good stuff. I really do like their chemistry. Like they were down, I guess, 2-0 to Georgia in this at some point, and they were having more fun than Georgia was out there. I was like, I know maybe people are like, you shouldn't have fun if you're losing, but like, no, that's a big part of the thing, especially as a young team. So they were keeping the energy high, and I think that has allowed them to battle back. They just couldn't quite do it. So saw some good things from what we could see. From what, I'm not a volleyball expert, but definitely still too many errors and young team. I get all those things, but like it's just like if that continues, it's not going to go well. And a very good Big 12, but that's the hope, is they can clean that up as they move forward. We'll see. They have a game tomorrow morning, or this morning as you're watching this, Friday at 11 a.m. to close out their time in Athens, so they can come away another 2-1 weekends. Start the season 4-2. Worst places to be, I suppose.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, yeah, I think today, and I honestly, I mean, the Georgia game seemed like every set really was like we kept it close. Like it was definitely within reach. I mean, even in that set 4, I think there was one point we were winning like 7-4 or like 6-4. So I mean, we had the lead at one point, and then it's just silly service errors or just like silly, like just hitting out, not making right decisions. Letting the ball just go out of bounds. Instead, we're like trying to go for it, and it just goes all over the place and shanks. But I mean, we had our chances. So I am liking, and I do see that we're playing a lot faster. Looks like things are more in system. So it was just a really, really weird game, but I kind of see that how things are going. And honestly, like, yeah, the team, they'll have, that next road tourney coming up. But honestly, I'm just ready. I think they're ready to just hopefully eventually in like 2 weeks they'll be back at home, and maybe that'll kind of help settle some things, and they're trying to figure all this out because that's hard too. I mean, they haven't
Yeah, a
been
lot of travel.
like playing games at home at all since the scrimmage in August. So, they've been traveling for a month trying to get this all figured out. So once they have like, a stadium with some support on their side, very excited to see what they can do. And a stadium that won't have rain delays, which, fun fact, I think this is the first time ever that our football team, our soccer team, and our volleyball team have all experienced a rain delay in the start of the season. I mean, I don't I
Wow.
don't know.
Tyler with the fun facts.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah, soccer
I
first
mean,
game
I'm
of the
gonna go
year,
out on a limb and
football,
say
like
that's
volleyball.
true because the volleyball part.
Yeah, so
Like,
weird. But you know what? Weird stuff happens. So whoever cursed us, please just
and
stop with
two
the
of those
voodoo.
being in
Yes,
Lubbock is kind of wild. I mean,
I
people think it
know.
never rains here, but y'all are wrong.
Y'all are
When it
very
rains, it
wrong.
floods. Uh,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah. Just keep watching. No reason to take big rank takeaways from it. The Big 12's far away, so keep getting better. I like the energy, and yeah, you see some maybe things happening, and I like what Grizzle's doing. It's Dunn seems to be a good addition. Like those are two good additions, and I like that these younger players are slowly starting to assert themselves. And a freshman and a sophomore have really stepped up in a couple of
Hmm.
games here, matches, whatever they call them, volleyball. It depends on who you talk to. It feels like. So yeah, maybe we'll actually get to watch more than one next week. I already went on my rant, so I
Hopefully.
won't do it again. I don't remember where they are next week. Somewhere in
Northern
Flagstaff.
Arizona
Flagstaff, yeah.
University.
If Northern Arizona streams all their games and Georgia didn't, you should feel stupid, Georgia. So Northern Arizona, I need you to hear this and be like, I bet we're gonna show the world how this is done. Someone's got to do it. Shout out UCF, and softball this past year. They were like one of the few teams that hosted a tournament and not just streamed all of their games, like one of those non-con where they have like 5 teams in it or whatever, and it's like random teams playing each other that UCF wasn't involved in. They broadcasted all of them, broadcast and all. Eric Lopez,
Wow.
our friend of the show, he did it for them. It's possible.
Oh, cool. It
Okay.
is possible.
Close it out with football. They are playing Kent State this weekend, Tyler, who has not been a great football program over the years. I think they just broke what was their losing streak, Tyler, coming in to last week.
So they had a 21 game losing streak in a row, but the longest one in the country. And that means that they did not have a win for 712 days before they won last Saturday. And that was their first win since September of 2023.
Wow.
So let that soak in just a little bit.
Let that really. But they did win, so they're feeling good. I mean, is this a oh no, they know how to win situation now? I don't think so. I don't want to like kick them more than that, but we should handle this team. They're another FCS school, I believe, or they might be FBS actually, and might be why they're losing all the. Anyway, whatever. They're a D1 program that has lost a lot of games. I think they have an interim head coach. They played 2 quarterbacks against Merrimack, and it was right down to the wire, I believe.
They actually won it on a 100-yard kickoff return
Yes.
at the 5-minute mark, which is insane. So be careful. Whoever is
They
on,
got some dudes,
yeah,
you know?
the special teams
got
that are
some
defending
people.
that, yeah, just be careful. Be careful for, oh, I'm not even. Derailist? His name's Derailist Clark.
That
Derailist.
is
That's the name.
awesome
That's the
name.
name.
I'm
I
a
know,
fan.
Derailist Clark.
What
I'm
a
a fan.
name. I'm sure that made its way onto SportsCenter. Yeah, I mean, you got to take every opponent seriously. You've seen upsets like this happen all over college football over the years. Like, it does happen, but
Yes.
this absolutely cannot happen.
No.
And if Merrimack was getting pressure on Kent State's quarterbacks the way they were, our defensive line should murder them.
Oh, 100%.
So it's
I
11
mean-
a.m. game. You got to get up and get ready for it. But the players also say that they like those games better anyway because they're not stuck waiting all day for them. So I hope that's the truth. I get that mindset. I hope that's true. But they'll have to get up early and be there. So can't come out flat. As we said at the beginning of the show, Baron Morton does sound like he might play, which earlier in the week didn't look so great. I'm still on the why are we even pushing it train, but if he's truly 100% healthy, I mean, there's no reason not to play him. But Not past the first quarter. I mean, I said that last week, and if they had listened to us, Tyler, he would not have been injured because that injury happened in the second quarter. Kidding. But yeah, hopefully we have a big enough lead. I get that there is a benefit to playing him if he stays healthy in the sense that plays a quarter, looks good. They don't have to answer questions from the media all week about how Baron Morton is. I'm not saying that's a factor, but I wouldn't be surprised that if that is a factor for his sake too. He doesn't have to think about it. His teammates don't have to question, oh, is our QB1 healthy? Da, 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 da. Like, just put him out there. He's healthy. He's going to look good for a couple drives. Then let it be the Will Hammond and Mitch Griffiths show if he is playing. But it sounds like on Joey McGuire's radio show Thursday night, he said that Barron's looked good. Sounds like there's been a report that the team's walkthrough today, he looked good in the walkthrough. And it's all about how his body responds tomorrow morning to what he put it through today. Even if it was just a walkthrough, it was a little bit more strenuous than what he's been doing. So as long as everything reacts well tomorrow morning, sounds like he's going to be given the start on Saturday. Unless that's gamesmanship coming from Joey. I don't know why you'd be doing gamesmanship against Kent State, though. So I kind of think that we're leaning to seeing Baron Morton start. I still think Will Hammond and Mitch Griffiths played a lot, especially if there's no storms and half quarters and all the things. And we play a full 4 quarters, you're going to see a lot of those two. Probably the full second half for sure. And I'm hoping the last 3 quarters myself.
Yeah, I agree 100%. No need to push it or make the injury worse if it's not necessary. But I mean, yeah, if Barron is absolutely ready to go and he can go in for, a few plays, maybe a quarter, I mean, no one's not going to complain about that. Maybe give the whoever does these silly rankings a reason to move us back. Like,
Are
I
you
don't know
mad
why
about
we
that?
dropped. I'm a little bit mad about that. I mean, I'm just
Oh.
like, I understand that preseason rankings don't necessarily matter what they put you at, but I mean, come on, like, why you drop us? Is it if that's the reason, then Baron's gonna go out there and just gonna go crazy, and then they're gonna be like, okay, we can move y'all
Yeah.
back up to 23 or whatever it is. I mean, but
I
no,
don't really
I'm
know I would love to know the reasoning, but I also am like, play someone that's not a high school team and you can
that is
actually
true.
have something
I'm
to say
sure
about
that
it. So
whatever was
like,
happening in the college football
I
world,
think,
everything had to
yeah,
adjust
like
and
some
move.
people
Like,
played some
yeah,
real people and they had good games, and so they jumped
hmm
us.
for
Now the
sure.
Indiana one, I think Indiana like skirted by someone and they somehow moved ahead of us. Like that one, I think I could make an argument. Like I don't understand.
Right.
How did Indiana move ahead of it? But yeah, that was weird. But I don't really. They matter, but they don't matter as much anymore because, as I've said before, college football is a real sport now, and they have a playoff. So, win the Big 12, you're in the playoff. Doesn't matter where you're ranked. Now
Yeah,
matchups and all those things, I get it. Being ranked higher helps, and staying ranked and working your way up the polls, cool. But you're gonna play Iowa State, or I mean, Arizona State. They're like number 13 or 14 now. You're gonna play all these other teams that are ranked. If you beat them, you're gonna your way up the rankings. Like it's something to argue about, and it's a respect thing. And I get the argument on respect, but like, does it actually matter about the football season? No,
yeah,
because you have the chance to go get your ranking. But if it's an argument around respect, then I get that.
yeah,
But
for
who
sure.
cares? Like, go earn the respect. So I don't think the team really cares about it. A couple other injury updates. We said this on Monday's episodes, but Markel Dingle, I expected him to unfortunately be done for the season. That was made official on Wednesday. Prayers up to him. I hate that for him, but again, happened in the first game of the season, so hopefully that means he'll be able to redshirt. And then Charles Esters was a new one on the injury report. He's out for Kent State. He's kind of a second, third string linebacker. He was like a starter for us last year, but with all the people that came in, he's a good player. Don't really know what happened there, but hopefully it's just precautionary. But he's not playing this week. And then there was a long list of questionable guys, which is it's football, so that's normal every week. And so we'll find out if they do or don't play on Saturday. But I'm kind of hoping to see maybe Dante Balfour maybe get in to a game. He was one of the stars of camp on the defensive side, but tweaked his ankle or something in one of the scrimmages late into fall camp and hasn't played yet. He didn't play last week, and he's listed as questionable this week. But maybe Oregon State he can get in. I just want him to get some game time in before Utah Big 12 play.
For sure.
So he's someone that I'm kind of watching for. But yeah, apparently Barron is the big one. He's going to play. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. So if they think he's good to go, he's good to go.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I'm just I'm also excited to maybe see just more from, that split time between all of our running backs. Maybe seeing Caleb Douglas get a touchdown. I think that would be pretty
Yeah,
good to
he's the one
see.
that didn't. Yeah.
Right. He had some great catches there and everything. But yeah, I just want to see some sharing the wealth. Everybody just
Can make
stat
everybody
pads.
happy.
Get some
Yes.
crazy, yeah, just get some crazy stat lines. Make everybody happy. I mean, that's pretty much all you could ask for. 11 a.m. game. Wear your white out game.
Well,
Make
that should
it's
be
sold
there.
out. It was announced it was a sellout
That is
today. I'm very
impressive.
impressed for an
Well, let's
11
see if
a.m.
people
game.
show up, but it is impressive.
Show up. Yeah, get your coffee, show up, wear white, and I mean, let's just have a party. Let's stay for every single touchdown. Let's just run out
Students
of
need to show up. 'Cause
fireworks or whatever we do. I
sellout
don't
does
know.
not mean that it will be a full
Be
stadium if the
full.
students
Correct.
don't show up.
Correct.
So are
Students,
you.
I'm watching
Students.
you. You got to show up. Yes.
So
Get up
hopefully
early.
yeah, or just roll in at 11 and hope you get a spot, but just be there.
Be
If
there.
you're like someone that doesn't like to get to games super early, this is probably your game to go to because there's going to be less people that are there super early because it's already early. Think about it. You can probably be a
Yes.
late arriver and still get into this game. If you don't blame me, but I said probably. But yeah, that's what we got on football. Yeah, that's all I have. We'll see you guys Monday. There might be a bonus episode coming this weekend on softball. We'll see definitely content coming about those recruits at some point and then throughout next week as more are showing up. Soccer is off for a bit, so we'll see what we do. We maybe we'll get a player on here. We'll see. I don't know. I did put in a request, but they're busy people. It's the middle of the season, but they have 10 days off, so we'll see if we can sneak another player on during the season. And if we do, we'll have them on maybe next week as well. Volleyball, we'll preview whatever they got going on next week, all the things. That's all I got, guys. Till next time.
All I got. Wreck 'em.